Good evening, darlings. Have you ever thought that I can't believe it's not butter should be renamed? Well, bugger me, it's margarine. I have a very warm welcome indeed to Tuesday Night Live. Hello, darlings. It is nothing less than a sheer verging on orgasmic joy to be back with you again here as we wave goodbye to Tuesday and we welcome in Wednesday, Hump Day. The middle of the week, God, that's come around quickly, hasn't it? It is, I don't know what it's like where you are, but it is bloody freezing here. Really properly cold. Autumn cold. Not end of summer cold, it's autumn cold here today. It's been a pretty lousy day. I had half of an idea of having plans for today, darlings. I was going to go to the Heights of Abraham, use my annual ticket. So I thought, yeah, a little bit of fun and it's free. Why not? Why not? Um, and got up early and everything. And bugger me, it's just piddled it down with rain all day. And now it's really, really cold. And I will be honest, darlings, I have buckled. The heating is on. It's only going to be on during the course of this live stream and then it's going off. And I've only nicked it up to 19 degrees, but the heating is, yeah, it's on. And before you start calling me some big, soft, southern, what's it, I'm feeling particularly poorly tonight. Not poorly, but poorlier than I have been. And it struck me, this is going to be on tomorrow's video, because I realized this when I was driving home. It happens every time. Every bloody time. You know, I've got the memory of a goldfish because I will have the symptoms of a cold and they will hang on for ages. And I'll think, well, this hasn't broken into a full cold and it's been, and I'll suddenly realize, or somebody will mention something, they'll say, like happened the other day, how are you feeling? Because it was like a week or 10 days ago, you said you were feeling a bit under the weather. And I will suddenly realize that normally when, as happened tonight, I start feeling a bit worse. I've felt worse tonight, darlings. Um, and and I've suddenly realised, yeah, this hasn't been hanging out. This has been hanging about for ages. It hasn't broken. Now all of a sudden I'm feeling bloody worse. 10 days into it. What's happened to cold these days? You know, a cold, you'd have a couple of days of warming up for it. You'd have a couple of days where you felt rank. You'd have a couple of days where you got better, and then that was it, all over and done with. And I realised when I was driving home tonight, as I have done every time in the past, and I keep forgetting, I haven't got a cold, have I? I've got long bloody COVID again. Long COVID again. Each time I get it, I think, well, that'll be the last time. That'll be the last time. And then it comes completely as a surprise. So that's why I've got the heating on, darlings. I'm a bit shivery, I'm a bit shaky, I'm a bit headachy. I'm coughy, I'm spluttery, I'm sneezy. God knows. Hopefully nothing goes off at the other end, at least not during the live stream. So yeah, sod it. Heating's on, 19 degrees. I need to take the edge off. It's going straight off after the live stream because I will be eating curry, which will warm me up, and I will be getting into my lovely, thick, fluffy, comfortable bed. You know, when you're in bed, it's every man for themselves, isn't it? Yeah. Right. Anyway, enough about me, my little heavily buttered toasted tea cakes. How are you? How has your day been? What have you been up to? What have you been eating? What was the highlight of your day? And what was the worst bit about it that you thought, well, I'm glad that's bloody over with? And we've got the next hour to have a good old chin wag, keep each other company. And yeah, whatever we need to do. I am going to have a slurp of wine, darlings, because quite frankly, uh, I find that if you're feeling particularly happy or particularly sad or particularly miserable or particularly unwell, or however you're feeling, basically, a nice gob full of dry, chilled white wine does help. So, your very good health, darlings. Cheers, bottoms up yours, etc. Oh. Okay, wine, do your thing. Oh, oh, that's lovely. Oh, I'm feeling better already. Now, uh, now, if this live stream was a spaghetti bolognese, then you guys would be the spaghetti base. The the ingredient without which the sorry, I've got a serious wine gasm going on down there. Oh dear me. Oh, 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 I tell you what. Oh, there's some pleasure going on in the old bread basket, darlings. What? I should rub it up. Yes, you would be the spaghetti in the spaghetti bolognese, the essential ingredient without which the whole dish would make no sense at all. And therefore, I'm going to dive into the spaghetti and I'm going to start reading your wonderful, witty, or downright shockingly abusive comments. First cab off the rank tonight is the lovely Jimmy Quinn. Good evening, Boaty and all. He says, we bid you a good evening too, Jimmy. Followed by the lovely Sean. Oh, God, right. Oh, Sean's jumping in the bloody song lyric things now. Mind you, I'll take the song lyrics over the names that I got. Oh, God almighty. Oh, fancy somebody bunging in Slan via PG to try and well and truly beggar me up. Do you know the way to San Jose? I've been away so long, I may go wrong and lose my way. And he then goes on to say, do you think the people in San Jose ask, do you know what way to Cleethorpes? I've been away so long, I might go wrong and lose me way. I'd like to think that they would. Lord, stiff up a lip, not to be outdone. God, here's a blast from the past. Dear, oh dear, where's your mama gone? Where's your mama gone? Little baby down, where's your papa gone? Far, far away. Last night I heard my mama singing this song. Ooh, way, burpy, burpy, cheap sheep. Sorry, I didn't intend to do that. All of a sudden, before that last line, all I had in my mind was a bloody episode of Father Ted. And I was desperately in the heat of the moment trying to remember what it was called. And it was burpy cheap sheep or something like that, wasn't it? God, we haven't had a wade into Father Ted for a while, have we? It's been a few weeks since we've done all the old Father Ted stuff. I hear the racist now further. Oh dear. Head to the traffic lights, turn left, then right at the roundabout. Oh, some sanity from the fabulous Peter P. Who, and I'm going to be getting that toast rack off this week, Peter P. I've got the box. I've got the Michael Bublé wrap. I've got the toast rack. So, and I'm going to do it because I just think that sending a toast rack to Finland is the best video title ever. I mean, come up with a better video title than that. Sending a toast rack to Finland, especially if I come up with some, I don't know, some ridiculous clickbaity title, thumbnail, something like, and then a picture of Finland in the back with a bloody great big toast rack on legs or something. Uh, that's that's how you guaranteed I'm going to do this, just so I can have a video that's called "Sending a Toast Rack to Finland." I don't know why that amuses me. It's the little things, darlings, and most of my previous partners would agree with that. Anyway, greetings, honourable community. Greetings, Peter P. Simone is with us, the lovely Hooked on Classics, who says, good evening, everyone. Neil, the fabulous Neil is here. The Neil, as you know, is. Neil has been rebranded. He's no longer Neil the Gibbon hater. He's no longer Neil the very, very, very nice man. He's now the Neil. Yeah, accept no substitutes, darlings. If you're going to get a Neil, get the Neil. Huh, yeah. Often copied, never bettered. Hope you're feeling okay, mate. Hope your operation wounds have pretty much fully healed now. Oh, I've got a stinking headache. Never mind, the wine will take care of that. Wine is such wonderful stuff, darlings. Oh, wine and central heating. God, what a lucky chap I am. If you've got wine and central heating, you've got magic in your life. Just think how worse it could be if you still had a wife. No offense to any of my ex-wives that may be watching. Well, I've only got one. What am I talking about? I won't mind another wife. God. So if you know any single ladies with exceptionally low standards, do point them in my direction and tell them not to get the hopes up. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Andrew Buttygig is here. Irish Spotty Butty, of course. A very good evening to all, he says. He actually names them individually. He made the effort. I can't be asked to. That's the kind of host I am, darlings. I can't be asked to do what you do in the comments. Stratospherian is with us. Good evening, all. Oh, Tracy Cardiff. Tracy P is here as Tracy Cardiff tonight. Channel member. Oh, yes. Good evening. It's cold and awful here, but it's supposed to be better tomorrow. It's bloody cold and awful here too, Trace. Let's hope tomorrow is better. It's bloody freezing here, says Neil. I was half tempted to put the heating on today, but we got the blankets out. You see, you're hardy. You're hardy. I haven't had the heating on today at all. It's just I got in tonight. I'm a little bit poorly and under the weather. I'm a bit shaky and shivering. It was really cold. There was an edge to the coldness, darlings. You haven't experienced cold until you've experienced the cold of a 700-year-old cottage with 3-foot thick stone walls. That is properly cold. That's the kind of cold when you're lovely and warm in bed and your missus comes in from a night shift and shoves her cold feet right in the middle of your legs. That's the level of cold we're talking about here. It's not quite the level of cold that you get on your bum cheeks when you go to the outside lavatory at 2 o'clock in the morning on a December night, but it's heading towards it. Oh, yes. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. I'll be glad when this bloody COVID... Oh, dear. A wine burp. I must have... Oh, and a hiccup. A wine burp and a hiccup. The double jeopardy that a professional broadcaster sometimes has to face after 11 o'clock at night, darlings. It goes with the territory. I'm not proud, but neither am I ashamed. Right, back to you lot. Where are we? Where did we get to? Oh yeah, Neil didn't put the heating on, that's right. Matron is with us and says, evening all, Bad Books is here. You need an opwap, says Andrew Buttigieg, to make you a nice warm brew of chicken soup. Oh, chicken soup for the soul. I'll tell you what I've got tonight, darlings. I have got a nice warm brew of staff curry. And I've got pilaf rice. So, as usual, I've only got the sauce from the staff curry. Have I told you that before? I probably have, probably 50 million times. When we make staff curry at work, and I say we because it's sometimes many hands making light work, then we take a chicken, we butcher it, skin it, then butcher it, and we use the whole chicken. Pretty much everything goes in there. Pretty much everything goes in there, darlings. And so that means that 98% of the chicken is on some sort of bone. Now, that's not a problem if you are Nepali, because Nepali people eat with their hands. They don't like to use cutlery. It taints the taste of the food. It does actually, to be fair, that is actually true. So they eat with their hands. It's quite revolting. It can be a bit revolting to watch, but it's interesting to watch. And so the chicken on the bone doesn't matter so much. They'll hold the piece of chicken on the bone, and they'll kind of suck the meat off the bone, throw the bone away, and then scoop of rice and sauce. Yeah, the thumb is all important, darlings. It's the thumb. You're not supposed to shove your whole hand inside your mouth. You scrabble your food around like that. So you kind of clump it all together. So the rice and the sauce and the chicken, it all gets clumped together like that. And then you scoop up a bit like that. And then you use your thumb to kind of propel it into your mouth. So you're not shoving your whole hand in there. And so they're fine with the chicken on the bone. They're used to it. I haven't got a problem with chicken bones, darlings. I'll have a nibble on a drumstick as well as the next man. But when it's fiddly little bits like that, and I eat my curry with a spoon, it doesn't work. So what I do is I just take the sauce, or the soup as we call it, and then when I get home, I add my own chicken to it, either lazuni or tikka, and I add fresh tomato, and I add some extra green chilies, because the guys at work never make it spicy enough for me. I suppose, they make it to the average Nepali palate, I suppose, and I like it a little bit spicier than that, as do a couple of the others in the restaurant. So we just add in fresh green chilies. I'll normally add a couple of chilies to a portion of staff curry, and there you go. That's what I do. And we don't make staff curry every night, because some nights they'll have dal, some nights they'll have whatever. So what I do is, sometimes there's not enough staff to justify making a staff curry. However, on Friday and Saturday nights there is always staff curry. It wouldn't be economical to feed all of the staff without making a big pot of staff curry. So what I do on a Friday and a Saturday, like this, that's one portion for me. I'll add the chicken, add the tomato, and that's my one portion. But on a Friday and a Saturday, when we do the great big pot, there was always some left over at the end of the night. So what I do is I get one of these big dubbers. I don't know the English word for them. In Nepali, this is a dubber. So I get one of the big dubbers, one of the 650 milliliter jobs. I fill that with the sauce, and then, or with the soup, as we call it. And then when I get home, I move it into 3 portions in the smaller dubbers. So that will give me 3 portions. One is for that night. The other 2 go into the curry freezer, and we'll probably have that's a Friday and a Saturday night, and then there'll be at least one other night in the week where we have a staff curry. And that's how I manage to have staff curry every night, because at any point in time in my curry freezer, I think I've got about 13 or 14 portions of frozen soup in there. So any night that we haven't got staff curry at work, then not a problem. I just bring fresh rice from work, roti, and then I just take one of my frozen portions of soup, bang it in a saucepan, and just warm it through on a relatively low heat. Add in the fresh chicken, add in the fresh tomatoes, add in the fresh green chilies. Bob's your uncle, fan is your aunt. Staff curry. Boom. Bosh. I don't know why I thought you'd want to know that, or even be vaguely interested. Oh, it's a kind of arrogance, really, isn't it? There's a good debating point. Are all YouTubers arrogant? Do you have to be arrogant to be a YouTuber? Now, if you're an actor or a paid broadcaster or something like that, you could argue that you're not arrogant. You've shown yourself to be good enough at your craft that people are prepared to pay you to do it as a job of work. But do you have to be arrogant to think, right, well, I'm not a professional actor or broadcaster. I'm not a professional journalist. I've got no reason whatsoever to think that anybody would find me remotely interesting, and yet, and yet, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Yes, I will put my fizzog all over a YouTube channel, and I will expect people to watch me and buy channel memberships and things like that, because even though I've had no indication at any point in my life that I would be any good at doing this whatsoever, I'm going to go ahead and damn well do it. And I'm going to post in various places and say, come and watch my channel. It's amazing. I'm amazing. You will become amazing through watching me. Because, I mean, obviously I'm being tongue-in-cheek. But am I being all that tongue-in-cheek? Because that's kind of what YouTubers do, isn't it? Me included. I'm not excluding myself from that. So there you go. There's tonight's debating point. Do you need to have an inherent level of arrogance in order to attempt to launch a YouTube career? I think that applies more to men than women, because with women, it becomes a lot more simple. Basically, if there was a tick box for women to check as to whether they should run a YouTube channel, it would be this. Would you be okay appearing on camera? Yes or no? Tick yes. Would you like to earn money? Yes or no? Tick yes. Do you have breasts? Yes or no? Tick yes. If you tick yes to all of those 3 questions, ladies, then you should start a YouTube channel. With chaps, it's a little more difficult. Again, tongue in cheek, but it's kind of true, isn't it? It's kind of true. Let's get back to some comments. Andrew was saying that I needed an OPWAP to make me a nice warm chicken soup. Long COVID, says Peter P, the gift that keeps on giving. I didn't believe in it, Peter P. I thought it was all or piffle waffle until I bloody got it. Even now, I can't be certain because it's not a real thing, is it? You can't test positive for it. You don't get certain telltale pimples and then your head falls off on day 13. Um, I just thought it was something people could go, oh my God, I've got long COVID. I can't possibly come into work for at least 3 weeks. How long do I get paid for on the sick before it goes down to statutory sick pay? Oh, is it only 2 weeks? Oh, right. I can't possibly come in for at least 2 weeks, darlings. I'm ill. I'm terribly ill. I've got long COVID. I thought it was all bollocks, right? Yeah, it kind of isn't. I'm sure some people will, make it up, invent it, put it on. That's the nature of things. But I've got no need to do that. I've been to work, darlings. I've been to work. I have been. In fact, I've been to that bloody restaurant every single day that it's been open from day one. Obviously, I worked at the other restaurant. Uh, Transferred to Ripley, the unloved little brother, when we opened it, and we became a little family. I'm the only one there that hasn't missed a day, and that used to mean working 365 days a year because we didn't used to close on Monday. One of the chefs would have Monday off, the other chef would have Tuesday off, quiet night, and they would cover for each other. I was in there every single night. So there you go. 8 years and not a single day off when the restaurant was open. Now I can beat that because between the age of 20 and 30, I worked 365 days of the year for a decade, for 10 years. Literally. These days, obviously, I've got an easy life. We close on Mondays. I get a day off. I mean, it doesn't feel like a day off sometimes because I end up working harder on it than I do on the other days. But anyway, there we are. Look, get back to the comments, man. They're not here to listen to you rambling on. Honestly, you can't get the staff. You can't get a decent host when you want one. I think it's the time of night. You're going to struggle to get a decent host who's willing to work at this sort of time of night. Or they'd want double pay or something like that. That's why you're stuck with me. And quite honestly, it's like when you're in a nightclub, isn't it? Now, at 8 o'clock, well, actually, it's not 8 o'clock in the nightclub these days, is it? At like 10 o'clock, well, that's still too early. At 11:30 o'clock, there are lots of beautiful single people in there. And in theory, you could have your absolute pick of them. What we're doing now is the YouTube equivalent of being in a nightclub at about 3 o'clock. And there's probably only two people that haven't hooked up. And that is kind of your choice. And let's face it, they're not going to be 10 out of 10s, are they? What the sodding hell is going on here? Why does life always have to be more difficult than it needs to be? Why can't things just work as they're supposed to when you want them to? It's not bloody much to ask. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, God. Right, there we are. Thank you so much. Now then, back to the old comments. Neil says, coffee, sneezy and spluttery is going to be the new cast of Snow White. Mark the Vicar says, coffee, sneezy and half of the other seven dwarfs. Great mind, says Mark, indeed. Oh, and Peter P says, Neil, you forgot farty. I've been feeling like shite, says Simone. Not much sleep and glued to the bog earlier. Oh, dear me. Dear me. I have today, says Stratospherian, sold my humble but immensely reliable Skoda Fabia 1.2 HTP for almost 5 years 40,000 kilometers, um, 40,000 plus kilometers, calculated in terms of money per krona, maintenance and operation, as well as reliability. It has been the cheapest car per mileage that I've ever owned. Well, what have you replaced it with, Stratospherian? That's what we need to know, isn't it? Chirpy, chirpy, cheap, cheap, says Jimmy Quinn. The band was middle of the road, and it was 1971. The year that I was born. Oh, chirpy, chirpy, cheap, cheap. You don't get this on Hubnut Reed Toast Rack, says Peter P. You bloody don't. Frey Bentos pies to Argentina, says Mark the Vicar. God. The community postage box and wrap. See how many community channels will the box find? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the one and only Neil. Neil has really rebranded himself now. He is now the one and only Neil. He is no longer Neil the Gibbon hater, the man who hates Gibbons. I wish I had an ex-wife, says Mark the Vicar. I'd better tell her. I am the one and only. The Gibbons have been put to bed, says Matron, happy that they are no longer hated. Highlight of my day, says Neil, was fixing all the stuff to the walls in the flat and getting everything sorted. The worst part was dealing with a sodding cold caller who insisted we pay too much for our bills. Sean says my highlight of the day was building a wheelbarrow. I had to, sorry. I don't know how many of you are in Sean's Facebook group, his YouTube channel. I had to laugh at a comment in there earlier. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Very occasionally, I will get somebody who's not in the inner scrotum. I mean, you lot give me advice all the time, and it's always well meant, and it's usually advice that I should take. And it's insightful advice because, you know, we know each other. We're quite intimate, not in a biblical sense. Well, not with all of you. Occasionally, I'll get a comment from somebody who only knows me from watching the videos or only watching one or two videos, maybe. And they will say, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Now and then I get that. Sean gets it about 6,000 times a day. And oh God, he got this comment and he screenshotted it and put it in the group. Oh God above. Just, I mean, you know, I said, are YouTubers arrogant? Are viewers arrogant? Does it require a level of arrogance to think that, right, here is a video that somebody has made about them. I've got no idea who they are, but I can immediately see everything they're doing wrong in their life. And I will contact them about this, and I will helpfully point out what they should be doing instead of what they actually are doing. And obviously, I'm tremendously important. Obviously, I'm right. They are wrong, and they will immediately realize that and mend their ways. And they'll put a video out tomorrow saying, I have been contacted by, I don't know, Doris Clack from Bournemouth, who has helpfully and kindly pointed out that I'm doing everything in my life entirely wrong. Well, thank you, Mrs. Clack from Bournemouth. I see now that you are perfectly right. I've got my whole life upside down and ass backwards. But fortunately, you have showed me the right road to go down, and I'm going to go down it. Doris Clack from Scunthorpe, or wherever it was you were from. From here on in, I am going to live my life entirely according to your instructions. Oh dear. Or is it in fact a kind of joint arrogance? And this is where it gets fun. because you've got the arrogant YouTuber saying, I'm incredibly interesting. Thousands of people will watch me. I will start a YouTube channel. And then you get the arrogant bloody viewers saying, I know everything. I'm incredibly important. I'm more important than you on the screen. And I'm going to put you right on everything that you're doing wrong. And then you get this. Oh, God. Oh, God. It does make you laugh. And obviously, I'm being tongue in cheek. Many YouTube channels are started very humbly by people who say, I don't suppose anybody will watch this. And then they get a couple of views and they say, oh, God, some of you are watching and taking an interest. And that's great. It makes me feel really good. And you get viewers who are just lovely and say, but you get the odd ones who are just. Anyway, Sean's been getting a few of them lately. And he he's just sent it to me. This was it, right? And the really amusing thing about this is it's from somebody who had made a previous comment, possibly more than one, I don't know. Sean had blocked them, so they started a whole new channel so they could continue the life advice. Now that's uber arrogance, isn't it? All right, he's blocked me, but he still needs to know what he's doing wrong, and I'm determined. So this was the comment. You are living like an... And it made me laugh particularly because I thought, Christ almighty, I hope they never watch my bloody channel. They think Sean's bad. Wait until they see mine. You are living like an old man! Exclamation mark. You're only 50, for God's sake. Stop buying stuff your grandparents used and stop making excuses not to do your garden. Men much older than you achieve more. What's all that about? I mean, that's not even helpful advice or this is where you're going wrong in your life. That's like getting the telling off of your life from your sainted mother. You know, it's that's like living in your parents' house when you're 38 years old and you've been self-employed for 18 of those 38 years, running a business that's a total failure. You don't earn a penny. Your parents have supported you for 18 years. You've never paid a penny in rent. You've never paid a penny towards the bills. Your mother's had to do all of your washing because you're... And then eventually your mother loses her shit and says, you're living like an old... Oh, God, it did make me laugh. And I had to leave a reply saying, Christ, I hope she never finds my stuff. I mean, my front parlour looks like an old people's home at the moment. I don't do anything in my garden. My rent includes paid for gardeners. And as for achieving anything, as I said in the comment, not only do much older men than me achieve more than I do, men that have been dead for several years achieve more than I do. Oh, God, you have to laugh. Alan Simpson is with us. Good evening, honourable community and host. Good evening to you, Alan Simpson. Mark Passad is here. Good evening, Boaty, and good evening, chat. I just woke up, says the M11. I may stick around if I can stay awake, but I'm not sure yet. Yeah, well, yeah, give it 2 minutes, see if it's any good. If not, bugger off. That's the sensible thing to do. Hope everyone is doing good. Well, I'm sorry that you woke up, M11. What a rotten thing to wake up at. I mean, you know, oh, we're back to the arrogance again. You know, the sleeping thing. The sleeping thing. For some reason, when you talk about sleeplessness, insomnia, people think it's all right to be insensitive. Everybody does it. No idea why. So if somebody says that, I really struggle to sleep at night, you can guarantee that the other person or other people or one other person won't say, "Oh, that must be awful." But no, they say, "Oh, I sleep great. I sleep brilliantly. I'm asleep within 30 seconds of getting into bed and I sleep right through until the morning unless I foul myself." And you wouldn't do that with anything else. Um, I mean, somebody, oh, yeah, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, I've just been diagnosed with diabetes. Oh, well, I haven't got diabetes. I'm absolutely fine. I don't have to inject myself. You don't do it. But with sleeplessness, everybody thinks that it's okay to do. And it must be a terrible thing. Now, God knows I don't think I've got insomnia. I don't think I have. I'm asleep within 30 seconds of falling into bed. And I love sleeping and I hate getting up. So I tend to sleep very well indeed. Now, I don't know if that's a natural gift. I think it might be because I've always slept like that. But, your sleep patterns can change as you get older. So I like to take precautions because you can't be too cautious when it comes to your health. And sleep and rest is important. So I take the precaution of drinking an absolute minimum of 1 bottle of wine per night, thus helping to ensure my prompt drop off to sleep and my sleeping right through. You can't be too careful, darlings. And yeah, okay, a bottle of wine is £5.29, but you can't put a price on good health, can you? Sage advice from Boaty there. Drunkenness, it's the way forward on almost every level. Oh dear. This is very nice, by the way. Slipping down very well. I'm feeling a lot better. And of course, your company always perks me up a treat. Oh, that is a thing of joy. Of joy, I tell you. Oh, some food news from the M11. I made a chow mein noodle dish based on Boaty's recipe today. I attempted to adapt it to be a bit more Little Lemon friendly. Oh, but it still blew my brains out. so, I ended up cooking for him some plain noodles with chicken in. Mine was very tasty though. But as I said, I adapted it. I didn't follow Boaty's recipe precisely. Which of mine did you follow, Emma? Did you follow my classic chow mein or my Nepali fusion chow mein? And tell us how you adapted it. And did you video it? You don't have to be arrogant, says Peter P. But it helps if you're cocky. Mark the Vicar simply answers yes, presumably to the question, do you need to be arrogant to be a YouTuber? I was petrified when I started my channel, says Simone. Took years to appear on camera. I can sympathise with that. If anybody's been around since the very beginning, I never used to appear on camera on my videos. Never did it. The first time I appeared on camera in a YouTube video wasn't even on my channel. It was on Mustard's. And, because I was, when I was younger, it wouldn't have bothered me. I mean, when I was younger, I was on bloody television all the time, for goodness sake. I would have had no problem being on YouTube because I was very handsome. But the idea of appearing on camera when you're really old and really fat and really knackered and most of your teeth have disappeared and you've got half of a baby's head growing out of your jaw, I didn't fancy it. And I didn't think anybody would want to be looking at my face. Yeah, so for the first however long it was, I didn't appear on camera at all. Can't get me off it now, darlings, can you? Yeah, there comes a point when you think, bugger it. I'm not putting myself up for a Mr. Universe competition. I'm not on a bloody dating site. I am what I am. Life has been what it has been. and you just think, ah, sod it. But even then, even after that, until very recently, people were telling me, look, you're doing it all wrong. You're not on camera enough. You need to start every video that you do with you being on camera. So people have got a point of reference. They know who they're watching, who they're talking to, who is trying to get them to invest in them. And I still don't do that all the time. That's one of the things that I'm trying to improve, because multiple people told me that and told me that that was a problem. So there you go. That's life, isn't it? You're always a work in progress. But I do sympathise with that, Simone, and I empathise as well. Bravo, says Andrew. What a performance. Neil says, I'm currently on SSP and it sucks. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. The M11 used the Chu Chow chili oil. Oh, you went out and bought some of that? It's amazing stuff, isn't it? It's amazing stuff. But yeah, don't go mad with it because it's pretty potent. And well, hang on. Hang on. You put Chu Chow chili oil in Little Lemon's noodles, or you put them in noodles that he was going to eat. Bloody hell, did I not warn you that they were a bit mental? Christ almighty. No wonder you had to cook him something else. Chu Chow chili, darlings, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing, but yeah, it's not to be taken too lightly if you haven't got. Oh, hello, wine turd. Whoa. Unless you're unless you're really used to proper spice, then it is probably going to assault you a bit. I love it. It's absolutely fabulous. I even started using not the chilies themselves, but I use the Chu Chow chili oil when I make my Chinese chicken curry, my homemade version, much improved version of the UK restaurant and takeaway dish. I promise you, mine is a load better than you will get in any Chinese takeaway. I guarantee it. And if you doubt me, then I will offer you a challenge. Okay, go to your local takeaway or restaurant and order Chinese chicken. Order their chicken curry and fried rice. Eat it. Make a video or make some notes of exactly how you felt about it. Then come to Windy Bum. I will make you my homemade Chinese chicken curry with my homemade fried rice. You tell me which is better. It ain't going to be the restaurant or takeaway. I guarantee it. But I started using a bit of the not the chilies, but the chili oil in that just to give that a bit of a kick. Because I mean that's what Chinese chicken curry from a restaurant takeaway way too bland. Bang a bit of Chu Chow chili oil in there and bang white pepper. I love white pepper with Chinese food. It's a great way to add an extra band of spice and flavour to it. I'm a big fan of white pepper. Not with all cooking. In fact, I only really use it. Well, I only ever use it in Chinese dishes. I don't use white pepper in anything else. I don't. I don't even use it in Indian dishes. Only Chinese. European dishes are obviously ground black, green, or red peppercorns all the way. I tend not to use pepper in Nepali dishes. I'll use chat masala or garam masala, something of that nature. but I'm yet to find a Chinese dish that does not eat better than when it's made with a goodly, and I mean a liberal, dusting of ground white pepper. And I white pepper it twice, darlings. When I'm making the dish, whether it doesn't matter what it is, stir fried beef and ginger, chow mein, Chinese chicken curry, anything you care to name, Chinese, white pepper goes in there, every single dish. And with many of them, because always dress a dish, darlings. The dish, once you plonk it on the plate, it always needs dressing with something. At the very least, a seasoning, ideally a garnish. And all Chinese food, I can't think of a Chinese dish where I don't do this. Then when the dish is presented on the plate, and bear in mind I've already used a sizable guzzlump, which isn't a word, of white pepper in making the dish, then I will finish the dish with a very light sprinkle of white pepper as a dressing. So just that, just on the outside. So your first, as your mouthful of the dish enters onto the palate, then as it enters, as it begins to wipe its feet, you get that wonderful spice kick of white pepper at the very beginning, and then everything else just wraps itself around your palate and you get everything else. So yeah, if you want to take the Chinese chicken curry challenge, then do that. Go to a Chinese takeaway restaurant, eat theirs, come here, eat mine, tell me what's better. And of course, there's a question of the chicken as well. In a Chinese takeaway restaurant, 9 times out of 10, they will velvet their chicken. Whereas I use chicken, the chicken that I use in my Chinese chicken curry is my lazuli chicken, which is, velveting chicken takes about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Doing what we do with the lazuli, that's a 24-hour process. So when you've got those layers of flavor and spice in the chicken, as well as in the dish as a whole and the sauce, then that's what really sets your palate racing. Honestly, I swear I should sell my Chinese chicken. I should open a shop just selling nothing else but that. It is that good. Honestly. Are YouTubers arrogant? This one is. Seriously, come and try it. And if I'm wrong, then I will make a video of you saying, he banged on about his fucking Chinese fucking chicken. It's shit. My local takeaway fucking much better. Don't listen to him. He's talking out of his fucking bumhole. Bunghole. There you go. I don't think I am arrogant, says the M11, and therefore I think my YouTube channel will fail. I can't imagine why anybody would want to watch me, but I enjoy making the videos and chatting to people. So while I'm enjoying that, I will continue. Well, there's another discussion to be had, isn't it? What would constitute a YouTube channel failing? Because it depends on your expectations, doesn't it? Now, my argument would be this, and it's a very good argument if you've got a small, unsuccessful YouTube channel like mine, but I'm going to cling to it. Right. If you're Drive Tribe or a couple of other big channels that we could mention, and you invest an absolute fortune into a commercial YouTube channel, and that YouTube channel loses money, it doesn't even have to be huge. If you invest money into a YouTube channel where the intention was only ever for it to be a profitable concern, And if that then loses money, so you lose on your investment, then that YouTube channel is, by definition, a failure. If you're just a total average Joe or Judy, like myself, like the M11, like many others of you, and you start a YouTube channel for interest, for your own enjoyment, to share a passion, you don't start it with any idea of it being a profitable thing. You don't even think about it. You don't start it with the intention of it ever even earning money, becoming monetized or anything like that. Because, let's face it, that's how we all started. Then my argument would be that if you get one person who watches one of your videos and leaves a comment to say that they enjoyed it, then your channel has not failed. That would be my argument. If one person watches it, enjoys it, and is prepared to put on record that they enjoyed it, you haven't failed. You've succeeded. Hopefully you enjoyed doing what you did and somebody else enjoyed it too. And that kind of should be enough. It certainly was and is for me. I don't do live streams every night for the money. They're not even bloody monetized. I don't monetize the live streams, do I, until afterwards, and nobody watches them afterwards. I don't do it because I enjoy doing it. It makes a difference for me. Other people say they enjoy it and it makes a difference for them. So, and that wouldn't matter if it was 200 people watching or 100 people watching or 10 people watching or 5 people watching or even one person watching. If if you enjoy making the content, somebody enjoys watching it, that's it. You're a success. So by my argument, M11, you already are a success and you cannot possibly be a failure because you've already achieved that success. Look how many views your Slan Did Know video got. And look at the comments that you get on your videos. So you can't fail. You can't possibly fail. The worst thing that could happen to you now, or any of the others of you who have channels, me included, the worst thing that could happen to you is that you don't get as big as you maybe secretly hoped that you would. And that's the worst thing. If you enjoy doing it, somebody enjoys watching it, hopefully more than one, then great, you've succeeded. Congratulations. That's the way I feel about it. I'm bloody amazed. When I made that first video, should I buy a Rover 45? And the entirety of the video was, no, they're shit. And that was it. That was it. I could never have dreamt that I'd be doing this now. And I could certainly never have dreamt that I'd actually be monetized and that I got a bit of pocket money from it. So, yeah, if I compare myself to some other people, some other channels, then yeah, I could say, oh yeah, I've failed because I'm not as big as them. But that's not what it's about. It's more than I ever thought it would be. And that means it's a success. And that applies to each and every one of the rest of you as well. Now then, all these different spices and sauces, says Andrew. Emma, I wouldn't know what's what. I'm I'm partly here to hear you rambling, Boaty, says Stratospherian. Well, you've had plenty of that tonight, haven't you? God almighty, I've rambled on for 55 minutes. Right, I need to get focused now, darling, because you all want to go to bed. And I want to eat that delicious curry that's just over there. So, yes, we need to start winding down. I need to focus. I need to concentrate. And I need to enjoy your comments that you've been so kind as to leave. which are probably all saying by this point, for Christ's sake, shut up, read some comments and then bugger off. That's the deal here. We'll listen to you ramble on for 20 minutes, then read the comments, then bugger off. Leave us alone. Leave us in peace. We didn't sign up to listen to you rambling for the entire bloody hour. Oh, dear. Sorry, darling. Sometimes I do get a little bit carried away. I'm feeling, you see, that who could ever call a YouTube channel a failure? I was feeling rotten when I started this, and now I'm feeling absolutely wonderful. I mean, you're probably not. You're probably thinking, Jesus Christ, why do I do this to myself? But I'm feeling absolutely grand. And I'm a YouTuber, so that means that I'm arrogant. And that means that I'm more important than you. So if I'm feeling good, it doesn't matter that you lot are bored senseless and frustrated that you left a comment more than 5 hours ago that I haven't got round to reading out. Oh dear. Seriously, thank you for lifting my spirits and just cheering me up. The wine has helped as well. So I should thank you. Thank you very much. You're doing a great job. And thank you, Curry, in advance. Oh dear. Oh, that's so nice. Alan Simpson says, I went a bit left field on the community food tonight and had a Fray Bentos steak and kidney pudding. Oh, it was actually quite tasty. Well done, Alan, says Andrew, my favourite Fray Bentos. Ah, there we are. Is Doris Clack a friend of Gladys Clack? Asks Alan Simpson. One would imagine so. Oh, says Andrew, I wonder who in the inner scrotum has had a taste of Boaty's fire and brimstone. Sounds like some of the comments on Mustard's latest videos, says Peter P. The Clack sisters. Mark the Vicar, very amusingly, says, people who think they are always right annoy those of us that are. Which is just comment of the night so far. Comment of the night so far. The one and only Neil says, I was 15 when I started paying rent and moved out at 19, moved back in at 21 and moved out again at 25. I tried but kept ending up back. I'm out for good this time though. God almighty, sounds like prison. The old people's home for the semi-permanent drunken fathers. Yes. Oh dear. And Mark says, Andrew, is that a charity that I can donate to or even join? The old people's home for the semi-permanently drunken fathers. I love that. Right, I'm screenshotting that. I'm screenshotting that because that is going to be the title of tonight's live stream. And I might just rebrand the live streams in future as the old people. The old people's home for the semi-permanently drunken fathers. I love that. Oh, God. Oh, God above. You know what? Growing old is a privilege that is denied to many, sadly. And I intend to bloody enjoy it. And I can't think of how I could enjoy it more than just basing the rest of my natural life, however long I've got, around that premise. Just turn my life and my home into the old people's home for the semi-permanently drunken fathers. Oh, God, come and join me, darlings. Oh, dear. The M11 says, I do the opposite instead of the, oh, right, well, I'm okay. I tend to have the approach of, gosh, if you think yours is bad, just listen to mine, as though I'm trying to outdo them. I don't do it intentionally, but I catch myself doing it, and I don't think it's very pretty. You do tend to be a bit self-deprecating. Deprecating. Well, actually, I might have been right first time. Excuse me. But when people talk about their woes, it tends to trigger my memories of horrific stuff that has happened to me that I just can't help sharing. Oh dear. Can we go back to the early days, says Mark the Vicar? When I don't appear on camera at all. Oh dear. Emma says, I followed your recipe from the video the other day. Ah, classic, Jermaine. I did video it, but as I had said on the video, I was attempting to make a little lemon-friendly version, and it didn't work out that way. Oh, Mustard's here! My lovely Mustard, my bestest friend in the whole wide world. My lovely, hairy Paddington. I missed you this week, Mustard. How are you, darling? Oh, let's have a virtual hug with Mustard. Leave my ass alone. Oh dear. I scrapped it, went on Emma. I adapted it by omitting the chili, soy, and MSG. Well, don't omit the soy. There's no spice in that. I used spicy chicken, onions, and peppers, and I drizzled sweet soy at the end as I thought that would appeal to kids. I bet you don't approve of the sweet soy. I'm ready to be thoroughly told off. Now, if there's a child involved, then yeah, that's absolutely fine. We all know kids have got a sweet tooth. We all know that they need a bit of something sweet. That's why tomato ketchup exists. God knows it's pure sugar. Some adults as well. Mr. Paddy, I'm looking at you. So I'm not going to disapprove of that at all, Emma. Not when you're making a child-friendly dish. I'm not that much of a food snob or a monster that I wouldn't adapt my dishes to be child-friendly. I used to, when I was married, I used to do the cooking for 4 children, darlings. 4 children. And 2 of them were really quite young when I came along and became their stepfather. And yeah, I am fully aware that you don't inflict your own palate upon your children, especially when they're only bloody 4 years old. So no, I don't disapprove of your sweet soy at all. In fact, I'll go further. Not only do I not disapprove, if you'd have said that you were that when you made it, it was going to be shared with Little Lemon, I would have actually suggested replacing the soy with sweet soy, because kids don't enjoy sour on the whole. Kids need a bit of sweet. I mean, you know how much I disapprove of tikka masala and korma and all of that nonsensical sugar-laden made-up stuff. But when Boo and I got together, then I knew that Boo was a lost cause when it came to spice. Boo actually had a really good palate, and she was a very good cook, and she was a very good catering professional as well. But she couldn't handle a spice at all. It disagreed with her bottom. Whereas Jess, I was determined to develop Jess's Little Mrs. Palette as early as possible. So when So to begin with, I did go down. I went down the korma and tikka masala route with Jess. So she got introduced to a level of spice because Jess would never eat spice because her mother wouldn't eat spice. Her mother thought she could never eat spice, and it just never happened. So I introduced Jess to some degree of spice with tikka masala korma, where the sugar hit is bigger than the spice hit. And I just gradually, without her realizing, really developed a palate so that by the time by the time we got to 5 years in or 6 years in, however long it was, then Jess would eat pretty much anything from the restaurant or that I cooked. Jess would eat staff curry without turning a hair, no problem at all. And at that point, she would have been 10 years old, something like that. It's just retraining your palate. Unless you've got a specific medical thing like IBS or whatever, then it's just retraining your palate. Your palate becomes accustomed to the food that you grow up on, but it doesn't have to stay that way. Your palate can be retrained. Oh, come on, mate. Time's marching on. Right, we said hello to Mustard. My new insurance policy starts tomorrow, says Simone. Hastings Direct. The cheapest I could get was 500 quid. Bloody hell. On what, Simone? Is that on all of them? Or on which car? Yes, says Emma. I thought a teeny tiny dab of the Chu Chow chili oil would be okay. Just a tiny dab. Seems it wasn't. No, it wouldn't be. Not for a 4-year-old. Not for a 4-year-old who's not accustomed to any level of spice. I've got a bottle of Scotch bonnet chili I haven't tried yet, says Jimmy Quinn. Excuse me. Oh. Mark the Vicar says, I ate a Chinese dish yesterday. Broke all my teeth. Boom, boom. Can you buy MSG in the shops there, Emma? Asks Andrew. Not aware if it's sold here. Not sure in Australia, Andrew. In most of Europe, it is actually illegal. But you can certainly buy it here in the UK. Mark made chicken supreme with rice, fried potatoes, and green beans. I think it's illegal here, says the M11, but I don't want to use it anyway. No, it's not illegal here, Emma. It's perfectly legal here, and that's why every Chinese restaurant and takeaway in the United Kingdom uses it, and the dishes wouldn't taste the same without it. I mean, it has a very unique taste, a very unique flavor. And if you don't eat like anything else in moderation, it's actually perfectly okay, perfectly healthy, perfectly safe. Certainly, my previous Chinese partners would eat it without hesitation. You do need to know how to use it, though. You can't use it. You can't use it successfully in the same way as table salt. In terms of the taste. So, for example, if you use MSG, which I do, as I say, it adds an element to the taste table that you can't replicate with anything else. The closest you can get to it is by using a combination of a really good light and dark soy, but it's still not the same. but you do need to treat it differently. So you, well, I'll give you one cardinal rule to using MSG. You cannot use it, or you should not use it if you want it to taste right. Then it needs to go onto food. Don't put it into oil or into a sauce or into a pan. It needs to go directly onto the food, and kind of don't go mad with it. But it's perfectly safe to use. It is illegal in European countries. It's not illegal in the UK, and honestly, if it became illegal, then every Chinese takeaway and restaurant in the UK would shut down because they'd lose business, because the customers would say, your food don't taste right. Your food don't taste right. So when I make a classic chow mein, I use MSG. I have MSG there in the cupboard, Chinese salt, and I use it because I know how I want my classic chow mein to taste. When I make a fusion chow mein, I don't use it. There's no need. But for a classic chow mein, you absolutely have to have it. And we use it at the restaurant as well, by the way, because there are certain dishes where UK people expect a certain taste. So if we make fried rice, then it doesn't matter that we're at a fusion restaurant or in a party restaurant. If a customer orders fried rice, you know that they want the fried rice that they get from their local Chinese restaurant. You know that. So if they order egg fried rice or special fried rice, they want the rice that they get from their Chinese. And that's got MSG. So we use it as well because we know what the customer expects. We don't use it in any of our own Nepali dishes because I like white pepper on chips, says Emma. I will try white pepper in mine, but not tonight, says Mustard. I like cracked black pepper, says Simone. Well, we all do. Oh, and on spagbol, Emma, of course. Spagbol would not be spagbol without just the right amount of too much cracked black pepper. When in doubt, add black pepper, says Peter P. Oh, Sean. Blimey, Sean, you're doing well to still be here at this time. I thought you'd have fallen asleep long ago, but lovely to have you here with us. Sean says, Emma and Boaty both get a mention in my forthcoming Thursday video. Oh, good. We might get some subscribers out of it. It's about time I had a trip up to your place, says Mustard. Do you know what? I was thinking about that. And I was thinking how lovely that would be if, on the odd occasion, as has happened before, you came here and we went off and did something. Now, this Monday just gone, this Monday just gone, it didn't happen because I had to wait in for the parcel. And my God, was it worth waiting in for. Thank you, Sean. I used them today. Oh, my God. Amazing. I'm still learning, but I will get there. This Monday, Mustard, I was planning to do the Heights of Abraham. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if you came down here and we went and did it together? And I bought you lunch up on the Terrace Cafe at the Heights. And we could both get a slightly different video out of it. So, yeah, I would love you to come here. I'd love you to come here regularly. Wouldn't even have to be just on a Monday. A Tuesday or a Wednesday, whenever suited you, would be absolutely fine. I got to work a bit later on those days. So yeah, it'd be so cool if you came here and we did a lunch here and one or both of us cooked, or we went off and did something in the beautiful local areas. I would love that. I would love that, especially as it's getting to the time of year now where it's not so comfortable being at the yard. So yeah, let's think about that, especially as you're going full on YouTube now. Then yeah, think about the filming possibilities of being in a different place and being around here. You could get me to get my arse out of gear and actually go out and have a walk around and film the beautiful surroundings, something that I never do. I got a comment on a video today as well from uh, a viewer of both myself and Sean's channel. I think they were Sean's viewer, and they kind of transmuted over to me as well after I did the video with Sean. But they said, I watch both yours and Sean's videos, and I would love Sean to come and spend some time in your area and explore the area together. And I said, go and tell him that. Go and make the same suggestion to him, because I've got a guest cupboard with his name on it. Or if um, sometimes when you live alone and you're used to your own space, you feel a bit uncomfortable staying in other people's homes. I know I do. I don't mind people staying in mine. I love that. I welcome it. But I would feel very awkward staying in somebody else's home. And I would always say, oh, no, I don't want to put you out. I'll get a hotel. Just because you're used to your own space and you would just feel a little bit awkward. So, yeah, I've got a guest cupboard, but there is a hotel just a drunken wobble up the road there. It's bizarre. It's in the middle of nowhere, up on the moors, but there is a hotel like, I don't know, quarter of a mile away, if that. So I would love Sean to come here. I would absolutely adore it. And again, he would get me out of my comfort zone. He'd get me out walking. We'd do all of the amazing walks that there are around here. So I would get great footage out of it. He would get great footage out of it. And I'm sure that we would have a fabulous time. Same applies to Mustard. So yeah, I'd love many more people to come here. So come on, Mustard. Come on, Mustard. Come and hang out around my windy bum again. We had the best moment on one of our videos ever when we were here, and I was making Momo. That was the pottering harness, wasn't it? Oh dear. And let's actually do something. I'll take you somewhere. I'll take you up the Heights of Abraham, like I was going to suggest on Monday, or something like that. Anyway, oh, look at the time. Look at the time, darlings. I'm rambling on and on and on. Oh, really, Sean, says Emma, in relation to us getting a mention. How lovely. Assuming you say nice things, that is. Of course he would. Top work, Sean, says Mark Passad. Oh, dear. Oh, I see. I see. Right, there's a couple of comments there in relation to Mustard saying it's about time I had a trip up to your place. Oh dear. Simone's got some content to upload, but she's not happy with it. Well, I'm sure you'll do the sensible thing, Simone, and either rework it or whatever. I've made a YouTube YouTube career out of uploading content that I'm not happy with. Sorry, darlings, I'm falling apart now, aren't I? Dear, oh dear. Stratospherian. I missed this. It didn't pop up on my thing. I normally jump on these straight away. But Stratospherian, bless him, I've given it a heart now. So it's arrogant. If Boaty, I like it. And that is a super chat. Stratospherian, thank you so much. My God, that'll go straight into the wine fund. Thank you very much. Sorry I didn't see it when you did it. It didn't pop up on my doings. It normally pops up immediately when somebody does a nice thing. But I'm very, very grateful. Thank you very much indeed. Mark the Vicar says, I use YouTube to post videos to my website, but that was in the olden days. I need to start doing that again. I need to get this bloody website built. I've got the bloody domain name. I just need a few more hours in the day so I can build the website, and I will embed all of my videos in the website with explanatory notes. So that when you watch it on the website, you're actually watching it on YouTube, so the monetization applies. I've also got loads of other plans for the website as well. The plans are all there. I know what I want to do. I've got the ability to do it. The thing I haven't got is time, so I'll work on that. Oh, is that tonight, Simone? The Harris v. Trump debate kicks off in 2 hours. Should be hilarious. I'm out of touch with the news. I've not been up with the news for the last 3 or 4 days. I didn't realize it was tonight, but absolutely it's going to be. I predict, this is bold, but I predict that the debate tonight could decide the presidential election. I predict that there is a strong possibility, depending on how Kamala Harris performs and how the Donald performs, I reckon there could be a massive swing in the polls after tonight, potentially. But we will see. It will be very, very interesting because Harris has been very reticent with the press thus far, which is quite a bold strategy, given that she was such a late entrant to the presidential race. Mark the Vicar's looking forward to the debate. Ramble away, says Peter P. I paid 99p for this. Channel member. Skick says he rambles on and then rambles on about how he rambles on. Yeah. You don't get this on Hubnut. Actually, you kind of do. I would vote for Rolf Harris over Kamala Harris, says Mark the Vicar. Trump will destroy her, says Skick. I'm not so sure. We'll see. This will be the first time that the Donald comes up against a trained legal advocate, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I won't be able to stay up for it. I'm going to finish this eventually. Inhale my curry, bugger off to bed. But I'll be all over Radio 4 tomorrow. I'm not complaining, says the M11, because I only pay 99p channel membership, but I seem to get top tier perks. Yeah, well, you bought me a Little Chef early starter plate, mate. Yeah. You get top tier perks for life for that. Oh, I see, Emma. I didn't omit all the soy. I used dark and light soy, but I'm sure you used the chili soy, didn't you? I did. So I scrapped that. I'm his darling, says Mustard. Of course you are. Of course you are. You is my squeeze. Right, I'm helping to shift a pianola piano tomorrow, says Mark. Gonna take me, Mrs. P, and 3 others, so I need my sleep. Good night, all. Let's all say good night, for God's sake. Let's all say good night. Oh, God. Now we're into Blackadder. Simone is also off to sleep. Oh, Emma says, so I use chuchow chili oil, light soy, dark soy, oyster sauce, sweet soy, and salt and pepper in mine. Little Lemon had just the sweet soy and oyster sauce in his. He ate it all, though. Well, there you go. That's the result, isn't it? That's the result. MSG is for sale in Denmark, says Stratospherian. In moderate doses, it is perfectly fine. Myths are alive, especially about diet. Mark the Vicar says, MSG, I just slap it in. Captain Mustard says, when did the Michael Schenker group become relevant to food? Bloody smartass. Imagine what it would be like if Mustard came over to Windy Bottom. The neighbours might call out the gas man. He has been here, but just not for ages. And I would love him to come. I would love him to come. Emma says, Boaty has an annual pass for the Heights of Abraham, so he could have a series where he takes different people up there. What a brilliant idea. What a brilliant idea. Yes, if anybody would like to come to the Heights of Abraham with me and watch me getting scared shitless in a cable car, then come with me. I'll give you the full experience. We'll go to Cromford, we'll park up. You can see the railway station where the Oasis, where the famous Oasis artwork was done. We'll get a lovely train on the Derwent line. We'll get off at Matlock Bath. We'll get on the amazing, only Alpine-style cable cars in the UK. We'll go up to the Heights of Abraham. We'll have an amazing lunch, either at the cafe or the restaurant, depending on your channel tier membership. Lower tier members get the cafe and the hot dog and chips. Top tier channel members get to go to the restaurant. That is a brilliant idea. I would love to do that. So if anybody would like to do that, let me know, and we will arrange it. Don't forget to say Jimmy. I would love to watch all sorts of different people consoling Boaty in the cable car, says Emma. It would be hilarious. It would be really funny. And finally, everybody's saying good night. I've gone on for far too long. I do apologise. Thank you for bearing with the 24 of you who have. And thank you to the 19 people that were kind enough to tickle the like button. I'm going to get off and leave you in peace now. Mustard's going to call me tomorrow and we're going to sort out all sorts of exciting jinx. The lovely Sean and has an open invitation to come and hang out in the Peak District. And all of you have an absolute invitation to join me heading up to the Heights of Abraham. And you can watch me cry like a baby in the cable car. Okay. All right, darlings, thank you so much for tonight. I've loved it. I've gone on longer than I intended to because I've really enjoyed it. And I hope you've enjoyed some of it too. Apologies for the rambling and the ranting, but there you go. That's what you get on the live streams, isn't it? You know what you're in for. You know what you signed up for. A special thank you to Stratospherian for the super thanks. I'm really grateful for that. Thank you very much indeed. You know it all makes a massive difference to me. On that note, have a safe and peaceful night. Have the best day you possibly can tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Take care of those who you love and who love you. And on the subject of love, much love, all the love in the world from me. Join me if you possibly can tomorrow night Wednesday night live, same time, same place, 11 o'clock. Okay. Thanks again. Much love. Hopefully, see you tomorrow. But chew and the height of Abraham, bosh.